started yesterday, and then the trees were being cut, and then the teacher above was moving chairs. Do you remember? It was chaos yesterday. So let's start again. When I read my first fixed assets adjustment, it says land and buildings were bought during the financial year for 2 million. This has been properly recorded. So if I look at the answer sheet, can you see they gave me the final balance? Because this was properly recorded. So if they didn't write it in here, and they only gave it to you in the trial balance, here, land and buildings, can you see? It's already including the 2 million. You would know this is the closing balance. Because of the word, this has been properly recorded. So now I know I purchased 2 million. So it was less the start of the year. So 6 less 2 gives me 4. If I start with vehicles, I like to do one thing at a time. But before I do this, I can see there's some open spaces I can fill in before I look at the adjustment. Can you see I can put in the carry values, which is definite marks for me. So this is 110. What is this one? 416. And this one I can also do. It gives me 204,800. Okay. So already I've got 3 marks there by just filling in those block and tops. So now let's start. I am going to start with, let's do equipment first, because equipment doesn't have a disposal. Depreciation on equipment is 15% per year, and they don't even have to tell me that sentence. But they do tell me here, the equipment is very old. So immediately you think 1 rand. And if you look here, you can see the carry value is very small. And also, another thing that they gave you, if you remember correctly, where's my income statement? Here. The depreciation ends in a 9. So you've got 3 clues already that it's going to be residual. Okay. So, in other words, if I say 760,000 times 15%, how much is that?
114.
So it's already 114. It's bigger than 110. So what am I going to do? I'm going to say 110 less 1. So it's going to be 109,999. And it would most probably be 2 ticks. And now I can finish off equipment by saying 110 less 109,999, and I should know this should be 1. And then this should be just 1 less. Right. So let's go to vehicles. Depreciation on vehicles is diminishing balance, and they already gave me the depreciation. They say the total depreciation for the year is 83,200. It's given. On 29 February, a vehicle costing 200,000. So that's the cost price. Remember, I want the carry value. So I want the cost price less the accumulated. They already gave me the cost price. Okay. Then they say it was sold for cash 18,000. The business made a loss of 10,000 on the sale of asset. So I'm still short of the accumulated depreciation. Can you see there's no information given to me? They didn't tell me the accumulated. So then usually what you do is you go calculate the accumulated. But it's not possible for me, because if I look at this info, is there anywhere they tell me? Yes, I can. So I can actually say, okay, I bought this vehicle 29 February. My financial year is what? What is my financial year?
29 February.
29 Feb. So I bought at the end of the year. And when is this sold?
At the end of the year.
No, but this thing is 2016. So I can't calculate it.
Can't use the table.
What table?
You take this, you have your amount, you have your loss.
No. I mean accumulated depreciation the normal way.
Oh.
We can't do it. So I have to find alternative ways. So the first alternative way that I see here is I see there's only one thing short. Can you see? There's only one thing short. And if there's only one thing short, what can I do? I can balance. So I know 400, let me just finish, 416 minus the asset disposal minus the depreciation gives me the carry value. So I can just basically reverse. So I say 204 plus 83 minus 416, and it will give me the carry value. There's also a third way, another way I can do it. And the other way I can do it is I look, my selling price, they tell me I sold it for 118,000. And they told me I made a loss of 10. Okay? And they told me the cost price was 220, no, 200. Can you see I can balance on the accumulated? So that's the same thing. So when I balance on the accumulated, I can go and subtract it from the 200. So both methods are going to give you the same answer, which is what?
128 donations.
Okay. What is the accumulated?
Wait. Yeah, the accumulated. Oh, 72.
So the accumulated is 72, and you can go see. If I say 200 less 72, it will also give me 128.